to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So glad you stopped in to see what I'm doing today. If you're wondering what I'm going to do with these and this, just keep it. Okay, so I've been promising I would do my fake cake tutorials. So today that's what we're going to do. Now what you're going to need for this, you're going to go to the Dollar Tree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mini cake. I'm just going to make a mini one today. I have made normal size cakes in the past, but today I'm just going to make a mini just to show you how to do it. So you're going to need to buy 3 of these at the Dollar Tree. There's 2 foam circles in each pack. You're going to need 3 of those. You're also going to need some of this DAP patch and paint. It's wall spackle. You can get it at Dollar Tree, but the jars are really small. They're even smaller than this one. And I got this one at either Lowe's or Home Depot. That's where I usually get mine. So you're going to need at least, for one of these mini cakes, you're going to need at least this size jar. And this is a 16-ounce jar. You're going to need at least this one for a mini cake. So you're also going to need some kind of plastic bowl. And I like to use these jumbo craft sticks to ice my cake with and just stir and mix. You're going to need those. You're going to need a glue gun. Also going to need something to decorate your cake with. Now you can use anything to decorate your cake. I have made my cake decor out of clay. You can use anything you want to decorate your cake. But today I'm going to be using some of these cute little paper flowers. I'm going to be using some of those and some greenery. And that's going to make for a cute little cake. And also, now this is totally optional. I like to sprinkle all my fake cakes with this extra fine crystal diamond glitter. It just makes it sparkle, makes it shine, especially at Christmas when you see all those, oh, I love it. All those little shimmery, icy looking cakes. I just love it. So I use this. You are also, if you want to have color variations on your cake, I'm just going to show you the basics today. You're going to need some craft paint to make different colors. I'm also probably going to use some ribbon. Like I said, you can use anything you want to decorate your cake the way you want it. Also, you're going to need some piping bags. Now these are, I think, Wilton piping bags. They're not very much at the store. You can even get piping bags at the Dollar Tree. But I would not use their tips at the Dollar Tree. They suck. Anyway, piping bag. You're going to need some piping tips. Now, I have a variety of piping tips, but this one that I'm going to use today is a Wilton 2D, and it is the closed star. I'll call it a closed star, small star. That's what we're going to be using today for my cake. And also, you're going to need either a small cake board. I usually don't put my cakes on a cake board right away. I usually just make it on parchment paper, which I need to get a piece out. But I use parchment paper and I just let it dry on the parchment paper, and once it's dry, the parchment paper just comes right off. So we are going to get started, and I'll try to zoom y'all in on what I'm doing. I'm going to pause this video and aim the camera down so you can see. Okay, I've got my parchment paper on my craft mat. You do not have to have a craft mat. I use it just to be using it, I guess. Okay, so you're going to need, like I said, 3 of these. 3 of these packs. There's 2 foam circles in each pack. You're gonna need 3 of those. Or as tall as you want your cake. Buy as many to accommodate how tall you want your cake. So I'm gonna use my mini cake here. I want it to be like this. It's gonna be the cutest little cake ever. I'm using 5, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm using 5 circles, so that's 2.5 packs of the foam circles. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna glue these foam circles on top of each other using our hot glue gun. Okay. And I use a good amount of glue, probably too much, but I want it to stay. Now, sometimes these circles do not fit each other perfectly, but that's okay. Just make sure that they are lined up. They're not going to fit perfectly to each other. I think my problem is my board has something wrong with it. Okay, so this is 4, and you could actually stop right here, but I like for my cake to be a little bit taller than this. Okay, so we've got our circles glued together, and it should look like this. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our spackle, and for my cake, I'm going to have the cake white, the icing white, but for my piping, I'm going to make it a different color. But for right now, I'm just going to use straight out of the jar here. Now, you have to be careful when you buy these different brands, because some of them have a grayish tint. This one is solid white, so I won't have to add any white paint to this. And occasionally, the spackle is a little too thin. I don't worry about that so much when I'm icing my cake, but when I'm piping, that's when it's going to count, because if it's too runny, it's not going to hold the shape of the piping. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead. Look at that. Don't you love it? Look how white and, oh, it's so white and creamy. Okay, so let's get started. Now, what I like to do, because it makes it easier, I tend to hold mine like this while I'm icing it. So what you're going to do first is you're just going to get it on there. And you want to put a generous amount, because you're going to want to cover up those seams. So I just slap it on there to begin with. Just get it slapped on there. You can smooth it out in a minute. Like I said, you want a good generous amount because you want to cover up all of these seams where these circles are glued together. You want to cover that up. And there's going to be some spots where you're going to have to kind of build it up a little bit because sometimes the circles don't always match up. Well, they never do, really. They really never do. So I've almost got it. Oops. Yeah, this is a little bit too runny to be piping with it. So I will show you a little trick to thicken it up. It's very simple. And plus, if you're going to change the color of it, you're going to, you know, add paint, which is going to thin it out too. Woo! I need it a little thicker over here on this side. Now, it's just like you're icing a regular cake. Now, how you want to ice your cake is up to you. It's perfectly fine, however you want to ice it. If you want it to look swirly, just ice it like you're icing a regular cake. And I think I want mine to look that way today. Or you could just have it completely smooth all the way around. You can do that. Or you can just ice it like this all the way up and just make those lines like that. That is a beautiful cake too. But today I'm just gonna make it swirly. And you want to make sure that all of those circle edges are covered up. Okay, so I got my swirly cake. All right, that's going to be pretty. So now we're going to decorate the top, or we're going to ice the top. So you want to put a good amount on here. Make sure you guys are. And you just want to go to the edges with it. Just like you're icing a regular cake. Sometimes it's hard to tell, and I've made the mistake of not icing my cake or not covering all the styrofoam, and then I have this gorgeous cake, and then you turn it around on one side and it is totally screwed up because I didn't cover up the styrofoam. So you want to make sure you're getting all of that styrofoam covered up. And man, this looks like it needs to have some coconut on top of it, doesn't it? Looks like my nanny's coconut cakes. You want to go over those, over the edge, kind of like a waterfall. Now there's all kinds of ways you can decorate these cakes. Like I said, you can use anything you want to decorate the top of your cake. And I have made stuff out of clay and made roses and stuff like that. But today I think just to simplify things, I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how to do it. Just to simplify things, I am going to use some paper flowers. Now, wow, I forgot what I was going to say. It must have been a lie. Okay. Now we've got our cake, and it looks like a little coconut cake. That's exactly what it looks like. Okay, so now while this is kind of setting up, you do not want to wait till it completely sets up before you start piping, because it's going to make it harder for the stuff to stick. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way, and then I'm going to show you how to mix your paint with your spackle and get your icing bag ready. So let's move that out of the way. Let's move it over here. Okay. Let me pause the video real quick and go get a glass. Okay, so now we're ready to mix a different color, and you can do this to ice the cake, or you can do it just to pipe it. So I'm going to use the color for piping. Now, like I said, sometimes this stuff is a little too thin to be piping with. So I'm going to show you what I do. Now, I am no expert at this. Trust me, I am not an expert at these cakes at all. I am just showing you how I do this. A multitude of ways, I'm sure, to do this. Okay, so I've used all this. Break into this big boy. My husband's already been in it. Okay, now this is very thick. That's what you need for piping. You need that. This, on the other hand, what was left in there is too thin. So I'm just going to add, now you can use cornstarch, you can use flour. I like to use baby powder for mine. Just a little bit of baby powder in there. You're going to give it a mix, and that's going to tighten. You might have to keep adding, but I think once I add some of this in here, it might be fine. But just keep adding until it's as thick as you want it. Yeah, this new batch is good and thick. I think one more little stick full will get it. Make sure you put the cover back on your spackle, because this stuff will dry out. Okay. So we got our spackle in here. Now what we want to do, I'm going to mix that up really good. Okay, I want mine to be kind of a mauve-y color. So this is already white. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a drop or two of this burgundy paint inside here. Now this paint is going to thin it out just a little bit, so you don't want to go ham with it. I like to just do a couple of drops, stir it, and see what kind of color I get. Okay. Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty. Look at that. Ooh wee, that's a pretty, that's pretty. Mix this up really good here. Oh yeah, baby. I think I'm gonna do one more drop. One more little spritz here. Get this mixed up really good. Oh man. That's pretty. That is gorgeous, but I think I want a little hint of brown in that, just to richen it up just a little. So I'm going to use some apple barrel milk chocolate. I'm just going to put one little drop in there and see what happens. This is all a Russian roulette game. Okay, that didn't do much. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Ooh, I hope that wasn't too much. This looks like this looks like Neapolitan ice cream. Oh, that's a pretty shade. Yeah. But you want to make sure that you mix that up really, really good. Unless you want it to look swirly. Swirly and squirrely. Okay. And it's pretty thick. It's making some peaks. So we've got that mixed up. That is a beautiful color. I don't know if the camera's picking up what color that is, but that's pretty. Now, to load your piping bag, I like to take a glass, open up your piping bag like so. Well, I guess the first thing, I'm putting the horse ahead of the cart here, or cart ahead of the horse, whatever. Y'all know I can't talk. I like to stick my tip down into the bottom of the bag first to see where I'm going to need to cut, because you don't want to cut too much or your tip's going to fall through. So probably about right there. Pull it back. Okay, you got your tip. Yep, that's perfect. And you just squeeze your tip through. Now you're ready to load. So I like to use a glass. And I put my piping bag down in there and fold it over the sides. Now you can load your bag any way you want to. This is just how I do it. It's just easier for me. Anything that's easy, I'm about. Okay, so you got your bag down. Okay, now you want to start taking and spooning, or in this case, sticking your icing down in the bag. See if I can get all. Sometimes I use a spatula for this, but today I'm just using this. Now, when you go to wash out your stuff, make sure you are using a bowl that you are not going to use for anything else. You do not want to do that. I know you guys already know that, but you'd be surprised what people don't know. Okay, so we got our icing down in there. I'm going to bring the bag up. Now this can be messy. I'm going to warn you right now. If you ice cakes, you already know it can be messy. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it loaded, we're going to twist it, and you're going to see some of it come out. Okay, so we are ready to pipe. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to go ahead, and this cake board is way too big for this little cake I'm doing. Actually, I better not do that because it's not dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and pipe on the parchment, and that should be fine. I'll just let it dry. So I will turn this around. You'll see what it looks like when I turn it around. Now, a lot of people use a Lazy Susan for this, and I love to use Lazy Susan for this, but I don't have one. It makes it so much easier. I had one, but it's not a good one. So what we're going to do, you're going to want to pipe onto the side of the cake, partially on the cake, partially on the parchment paper. That way, this is going to seal onto the cake. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to do a simple, very simple pipe. And you're going to push your icing on. I push from the back. This is just a simple piping, but it is really pretty. I think it is. So I'm going to pipe around the bottom here, getting the icing partially on the cake, partially on the parchment. And as it's coming around, you can see how pretty that is. Just squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. Very easy. Squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. And you can see better when I start on the top. I'm going to squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. Oh, that's pretty. How cute is this, y'all? Now, I think for the top of mine, I am going to start adding some flowers. Now, these are the paper flowers. Like I said, you can decorate with anything. Anything, anything, anything. But today I'm just using the paper flowers. And I like to do mine while you probably want to do this before this thing dries, which you need to let this dry a good 24 hours at least before you even try to pull it off this parchment paper. So what we're going to do, I think, we're going to put a flower right in the middle. And this spackle is going to act as a glue. Once this dries, this ain't going nowhere. So what I think I want to do is just have like a cluster of flowers kind of coming down and around. I think that would be pretty. Oh my goodness, my little granddaughter, Raylan, and I have 3 granddaughters. I have Elizabeth, Raylan, and Amelia. But Raylan's birthday's coming up in August, and she calls me Gaga. That's what they call me. And I think these cakes would be so cute for her party. Raylan's going to have a Wonder Woman party this year because she's turning 1. So get it, Wonder Woman. I thought it was stinking adorable. Okay, this one I don't like on there right now. So I'm just gonna add just place them wherever you, oh, that's so cute. Oh my goodness, what a cute little spring cake. Let's see. Well, I said I was going to come down with it, but I have decided not to. And you'll see when you start going and decorating your cake, you'll change your mind 100 times. Or at least I do. I don't know if anybody else does or not. But oh my gosh, this is so cute. So cute. Look how cute. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to add, now see my piping icing, even though I put powder in it, it is still, I guess because it's hot today, it's still not as stiff as I need it to be. But I'm just going to let it dry. It'll be okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some tiny delicate leaves here off of here. I'm going to just cut me some off and just tuck them in all over the cake. You want to be careful not to touch your pretty icing job. I've done that before. Needless to say, it was not a pretty sight on my end. The cake turned out pretty, but yeah, moving right along. All right, so I'm just going to continue to tuck some of these leaves in right into the spackle, right into your icing, and it is going to stick there like glue once this dries. This is turning out so stinking cute. Just whenever you see a blank spot, tuck it in. Y'all know how to do stuff like this. I know you do. Just wherever you see you need something, just tuck it right on top of that spackle, or icing I call it, because it is going to stick when this dries. I have one more flower, but it's a big one, and I really need a small one, a smaller one. I think I'll stick one right there. Oh my gosh, how cute. I used these flowers on my granddaughter Raylan's cake. I made her when she was born and sent it to her mama, my daughter, and these were left over from that. Let's see, maybe just a few more sprigs. Oh, this is so cute. And if you want to stick some in the middle, go right ahead. Like I said, this is totally up to you how you want to do your cake. Now, I'm going to try something I've never tried before. I'm going to see about adding some ribbon around this and see how that comes out. Oh my gosh, I hope I didn't just screw it up. Oh, I cut the ribbon just perfect. Just kind of tap that down. Oh my goodness, how cute is this, y'all? Oh, where's my craft stick? Here it is. I'm going to just push that up just a tad bit. Oh, that's so cute. Now, y'all, this makes me mad that this stuff was so daggum thin. This is not what I mean, it looks like it is just, oh my gosh, it looks like it's melting, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and make a little bow. I'm not good at bows, y'all. I am not good at bows at all. So let's see. Did I mention I was not good at bows? Lord have mercy. Let's give it a shot here. Okay. So we got just a little bow. Oh, my bows are horrible. But it's not too bad. So we got a little bow here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm just going to pick a spot here on the cake. On the ribbon on the cake, not the actual cake itself. And I'm just going to stick that little bow on there. And y'all, I'm going to trim the tails on here. I almost touched it. Ow. Oh my God, how stinking cute. Like I said, I should have tightened this up a lot more than I did. Too late now. Do as I say, not as I do. Make sure that your piping icing is very, very stiff. This is, it's going to be fine. It's just not going to look as good as I wanted it to look. I tell you what I'm going to do. No, I'm not going to do that because it'll mess it up. Just leave it alone, Kim. Just leave it alone. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. I am so ashamed of this piping job down here. This is just crazy. You know what? I am going to attempt to take that off and redo it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just convincing myself. This is what happens sometimes when you're crafting. I know I'm not the only one who screws up and has to do it over. I hope I'm not anyway. So what I'm just doing, I'm just taking, and y'all, this happens. It happens. It's crafting. Sometimes the beauty of editing is a beautiful thing, but I'm more about real life over here. I try hard on my editing to make everything look perfect, but no. It ain't gonna look perfect. So what I'm going to do here is attempt to make this icing tighter. I'll tell you what. Let's try, and guys, it's trial and error. Okay, it's trial and error. Y'all know how it is. So I've got me some cornstarch baby powder, and I'm about to start mixing. Woo! Lord have mercy. That's not tight enough either. Okay, I want to make sure this is going to be really tight, so I am going to add more baby powder. And I'm not going to have any for tonight's bath. Oh well. Does anybody else use baby powder on your body? And it just goes all over the place? And your husbands get mad? Well, they don't get mad, but... Okay. Well, rats. I guess I'm going to have to get another piping bag going for this, because I don't want to mix it with what I already have. Actually, I'm going to. In real life over here, y'all. Real life. Let me try some flour. Ugh, this is yuck. I'm going to mix that really good because you want it to be... That's still too thin. Well, let me add a little bit more flour. I know it jars, y'all. Let's get this mixed up here. I'll get it right eventually. Now this looks... I'm looking for a stiff peak. There we go. Now that I've had my workout for today, let's get our bag loaded up again. Now this could get a tiny bit messy because the bag's already being used and it's just going to get everywhere. I know it is, but it's okay. It is okay. Guys, if my unprofessionalness on this bothers y'all, I'm so sorry. Like I said, I am not a professional. I'm just showing you guys how I do this, and I am real life over here, and I am not perfect, so I'm so sorry if you know, if y'all don't like it. And I'm crazy. I try to contain myself sometimes when I do my videos, but yeah, my husband and my kids, they know the real, not that you're not getting the real me for my videos, because you are, but I tame it down a little bit when I'm on camera. One of my kids, my youngest son, said, "Mama, you do not talk that calm and sweet in real life." I said, "I do too." He said, "No, you don't." So he called my bluff. Okay, so now we're going to squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. Now, this parchment paper looks like it's been through you know what. But when this cake comes off of this parchment paper, and you see what it's going to look like on a plate or a board, it's going to look totally different. Squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. Let me see if I can get it in there where y'all can see the squeeze and pull. Well, Lord of mercy. I don't know if you can see it or not. Squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. I'm sure these, if there are any cake decorators watching this, they're probably thinking, oh my gosh. I am trying my hardest to learn how to make roses with icing or spackle. It looks easier than it actually is. I've watched hundreds of videos on it. And guys, there are so many talented women out there on YouTube that I have learned this from, and they are just so talented. One of them is called The Pink Tree. You can look her up on YouTube. She does all kinds of faux treats, and they are just gorgeous. Okay, so guys, that's all there is to it. Your parchment paper is probably going to be a mess, but you want to leave it on the parchment paper for at least 24 hours. Maybe put a fan on it. You don't want to try to move it, because if you do, you're going to mess up your pretty icing. But the piping on this one looks better now that I thickened up my icing or spackle. So that is so cute, and I will show you the finished product in just a moment. So guys, that's it for my video. That's how you do a fake cake. And there's a multitude of ways you can do it. I told you it wasn't hard. You can do this. Give it a shot. I made a whole Christmas bakery for my Christmas display a couple of years ago. It turned out so stinking cute. And my little granddaughter Elizabeth came over here, and the cakes look so stinking real. And I had them behind me on these shelves here. And I call this my bakery window, Mrs. Claus bakery window. And I had a multitude of cakes, cupcakes, all of it faux, of course. Lollipops I made, macaroons, just all kinds of goodies, you know, like you would see in a Christmas bakery window. And when she came in here, her eyes lit up. Oh, it was so precious. Her eyes just lit up, and she was just looking at all the pretty cakes and everything. You know what I didn't do? I didn't put any of this diamond dust on it. But I don't think I'm going to do that on this. I think I'm just gonna have it matte. I think it looks pretty like it is. But anyway, her eyes just sparkled, just looking at all the goodies here in the window. And I said, baby, you can't eat those. Those are cakes that Gaga made just for looks. You can't eat those, they're not real. And the disappointment on her face, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad. But like I said, give this cake a try. It is so fun. I'm telling you, it is so fun. And like I said, you can do anything you want to do. You don't have to do flowers, you can do seashells. I mean, decorate it any way you want to do it. And it's very easy. It's just like icing a regular cake. Only you're using stuff on top of it that can't be consumed. So make sure if your kids or grandkids are not old enough to know not to eat it, you better put it up because it looks real. Okay, with that being said, I thank you guys so much for joining me today. This was so fun. And if you want like a cupcake tutorial or anything, you know, just let me know and I'll be happy to do another tutorial. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Click the bell to be notified every time I upload. Give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment and let me know what you think. If you try it, let me know. And until next